Well, our stay in Morocco is almost done, or I should say it's coming to an end. We've been here for the last 6 days covering their preparations ahead of the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations. Over 300 journalists, influencers and content creators from across the continent, Europe, Asia, have been part of this journey. Joining me is none other than African sports journalist from Accra, Ghana. That is Gary Smith. Gary, hello, and thank you for allowing me to talk to us.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I'll start probably by asking you your experience for the time you've been here. Of course, not your first time, but this time round, just a couple of months away from the Africa Cup of Nations.
I think this trip is a bit more meaningful than the last one because it's getting ready and it is in anticipation of something. And we probably for the first time, an African nation has invested resources into alerting the continent that, hey, this thing is coming, you better watch out for us. And I think that in summary, that's what they've done. They've given us notice that they are extremely ready for anything and anybody who is coming for the Africa Cup of Nations. And it's been enlightening, educative, and humbling.
Well, my colleagues in Uganda recently told me that Morocco invited all of us to show off.
Yep.
That's
what I said as well.
What they have in place. And probably the question would be, I mean, what are they trying to prove? Or they're actually trying to tell the rest of the continent that this is where you should be?
My suspicion is that the message they want to send through us is actually not for the rest of the continent. It's for the world for 2030, not for the continent in 2025 per se. Short term, yes. But the continent has known for a while that Morocco can host an AFCON with a 2 days notice. As one of the Moroccan staff told me when I asked, are you ready for the AFCON? He says, we've been hosting during international windows, multiple African countries, about 15 at a time for the last 2 years. So we've been ready for the AFCON for a long time. I think what they want to prove is to the world, which is why they broadened the invitation to content creators, like you said, in Europe, in Asia, and even as far afield as Brazil and Mexico, in South America as well. So yes.
Of course, that reminds me when countries were bidding to host the 2026 World Cup, which was going to be the first World Cup of 48 nations. Well, you had the bid of Mexico, US, and Canada winning. Actually, Morocco had a solo bid. So even back then, they were proving that we are actually capable of hosting 48 countries in this kingdom, and we can go out there and do it. But the AFCON that is coming up, Gary, in December, from your own experiences, you've covered several editions of the Africa Cup of Nations. What are your expectations this time around?
From a football point of view, looking at the qualifiers and the way they've gone, I think teams are well prepared. The styles of play have evolved. As Walid Regragui has said in his post-match interviews in the last couple of days, he's expecting a lot of teams that will be sitting behind the ball.
Okay.
So there will be a contrast of styles. Those who will be going only for the counter-attack, and then those that will be playing expansive football, depending on the opposition. So we should be ready for that. Also, because of the timing of the AFCON, a lot of star players will be pulled out of their regular seasons. And so you are going to have some that will be playing funny, some who will be going all out. But it means then that teams are going to have to adapt to the strengths of those star players. Because in December, most players would have had 3 months of club action. They will be heading towards their season peak. So it will be a good preseason. And it means that the AFCON will get them at the best time. However, it will be a nightmare for their clubs when they go back, especially for the star players that go further in the tournament.
It has always been an issue when we have the AFCON in January.
Exactly. So, and then the usual fights between the European clubs and Africa. We are going to have a 5.0 version because, some of the teams have multiple star African players. And so they are going to be really angry with us. We don't care.
Of course we don't. But do you think the weather will be an issue, bearing in mind that some of these stars are based in Europe and they are only crossing over to play in Morocco? Probably it won't be as cold as it is, but people have been raising the issue of the winter season probably affecting some players or teams that will be playing at this stage.
All of them are Africans. And so the warmer the weather, the better. But in December, it's not going to be crazily hot here. So it's just going to be slightly cooler. It will not be as cold as most places in Europe.
Yeah.
It will be slightly warmer, and I don't think that's a bad thing. It won't be as hot as Sub-Saharan Africa, I reckon. You know, it won't be rainy for one, but I suppose it should be good.
Yeah, but in terms of preparations, once the tournament comes around, the first ball is kicked on the 21st of December. Yeah. What are expectations from Morocco throughout that period?
Oh, I mean, they've showed us what we should expect from them. Great hospitality in terms of the hotel facilities. We are not going to hear about teams complaining about hotels and transportation and stuff like that. The one thing I would like, Clive, is actually from CAF, not from Morocco. If you look at the scheduling of the last two major tournaments, it's been a problem. CHAN one, WAFCON the other. From the quarterfinal to the semi-final to the final, certain teams have been disadvantaged because they've not had enough time to recuperate.
The 2 days rest is not enough for the
It's not international standard. If you watch the Euros, when the women's Euros were being played and the Club World Cup were being played, the time between the semi-final and the final was such that both teams could recuperate.
Yeah.
Look at the last CHAN. Sudan did not have enough time from their quarterfinal to their semi-final, and so they were very fatigued. Meanwhile, their opposition in the semi-final, Madagascar, had enough time to rest, and it clearly affected because they had gone 120 minutes in the previous game. We saw that in the WAFCON as well. It was Nigeria and Morocco getting into the final, but one of them had not had enough time to rest, and it's an issue. Ghana was in the quarterfinal, obviously. In the semi-final, obviously, and then won bronze. They didn't have enough time to recuperate. It's something that myself and some of our senior colleagues, Osasu, have been saying that CAF should be looking at, because invariably it can affect the best team from placing first or second, and you don't want that.
So what should be the best practice in this case?
I mean, look at the scheduling. The times are there, the dates are there.
And it has already been confirmed.
Yes, it's been confirmed, but you have the power as the organizer to shift, to adjust, if it's going to be a Wednesday, if it's going to be a Thursday for the semi-final, there's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, whatever it is. Just move it to a Wednesday, or something like that. I mean, they are the organizers. They should figure it out.
Then also the issue of the stadiums. Usually we've had double headers, 2 games played at the same venue on the same day. You have 4 games, but at 2 venues. This time around, you have 4 games played at 4 different venues.
Yeah.
You have 9 facilities out of the required 6, and this should be a first for an AFCON. Your take on that?
Good. It means that the pitches are going to have time to breathe. It means that we are expecting to see every single match with pristine conditioned pitches, which is good for television, which is good for the outcome of the experience for those watching and those who be at the stadium. In terms of fans who may want to watch multiple games at once, that's a different thing. It's not going to be like Qatar, because you were in Qatar. There were fans who could watch the timings of the games and watch up to 2 games a day,
or even 3.
Depending on
one who tried 4 and actually succeeded.
Yeah, so you can't have it all. You just have to make sure that scheduling is okay for you. Thankfully, transportation around Morocco is not too bad, so you can plan adequately and get it done ahead of time. So in this country as well, you can book buses and air travel way ahead of time.
And train.
Unlike in most parts of Africa. So you can hop onto the internet when the tickets come out pretty shortly and plan and you're good to go.
Yesterday we were at the Prince Amle Abdallah Stadium. Very beautiful facility, of course. It will be hosting the opening game, several other games, and the final on the 18th of January. For starters, your take on the stadium in comparison to probably some of the best stadiums you've visited on the continent?
In the world, I should say.
Let's start with the continent.
Yeah, it's good, very, not futuristic, but standard modern stadium. I'll start with the minuses.
Okay.
I think the match came too early for the staff. Because you realize that a lot of the staff still didn't know where people should go. So as a dress rehearsal, it was a great time to have a dress rehearsal, because then there's another international window that's coming in October. So, and then I'm sure there'll be a few preparatory games where they'll be able to test the readiness in that sense, the human resource sense. The traffic is also a problem. We saw that in the WAFCON, in the final of the WAFCON, which was played in the nearby stadium, the Olympic Stadium as well. Traffic was an issue. We saw that yesterday also. And I think that, they should work at it to make it easier for people to access the stadium as well. Because, I could go into detail, but just to sum it up, there's a few logistical challenges with the traffic that needs to be looked at before the AFCON. Because the continent is coming.
Exactly.
This was only a friendly match.
Not even the continent. Lately, you can say the world is coming. Because from 2019, all the AFCONs we've been having, the audience
global events
has kept on growing. For those who are watching on TV, but also those who want to come and be part of it. Morocco is just a few hours away from Europe.
Yeah.
So you expect so many people from Spain, France, Portugal to come and be part of this extravaganza. And the kingdom should be actually ready to accommodate each and everyone so that they enjoy their stay here.
Yeah, because they've done well with welcoming people. The airports are ready, the transportation links. But now people would want to go to the stadium. And you want to make the experience as easy as possible. And comfortable as possible, I think.
Gary, as we wind up, 24 countries, Morocco hosting it. They have made it very clear they want to win the Africa Cup of Nations. They have only won it once, way back in 1976. The last time they hosted it, Cameroon won it here in 1988. And they have struggled to get themselves back into even the final. But of course, you have other giants on the continent who believe it is their birthright to win the competition. Nigeria, Egypt, the defending champions, Ivory Coast, Senegal would want to win it again, and all that. We still have a couple of months to go, together with South Africa. Which are some of the teams that you think will probably be a force to reckon with in Morocco in December?
Yeah, you've mentioned South Africa already. Morocco being the host nation, obviously. I think we should look out for Côte d'Ivoire. They are not exactly what they were. Their football also has not been the most thrilling, but I think we should look out for them. Besides these three, Sudan will be quite dark horses. Because if you look at the way they play, it is suited to an AFCON. The chemistry they have also is suited to a competition like this. That does not, it will thrive on star names that will do brilliant things and can bail you out. But sometimes the compactness is all you need. And the chemistry is all you need as well. So Sudan as dark horses also. So yeah, if I take these four, outright favorites, Egypt always.
Without a doubt.
Egypt always. I think Mo Salah's group. There's a Messi-like thing about Mo Salah at the moment, where the team is getting to a sense where they feel like they are playing for him. And I'm seeing that, like they are deferring to him and they are feeling like. And that thing is it's dangerous because people play out of their skins for somebody, not necessarily themselves. And it can be such a unifying factor. They played a game in the qualifier they played. Mo Salah gave away his penalty to Omar Mamouche when he should have played for him to get his first goal in the qualifiers. Those sort of actions, when one of the other players got a new deal when they came to camp, Mo Salah gave him a commemorative Liverpool shirt signed by him. Like leadership by example. And I think that sort of thing is something you can't buy on the market. So I'll put Egypt out there as well. I'm sure there are a couple I've forgotten. Senegal, I know people say Senegal, but Senegal of now is not the same as Senegal of 2019. Yes.
Probably the team I didn't mention, still as I wind up, the DRC. First of all, the manner in which they qualified. When you look at their campaign currently in the World Cup qualifiers,
Sebastian Desabre,
they finished fourth at the last edition in Ivory Coast. Looks like Sebastian Desabre is cooking. He's going all over Europe, collecting all these players who have Congolese roots and putting them together. Is it a team that we should be worried about?
Probably. Whether they will have enough chemistry for all these players. I've seen, Wan-Bissaka, what's this other guy? Sorry, I forget his name. This other guy who has also pledged 3 days ago from the time we're doing the interview as well. He also pledged as well. Whether they will have enough time to gel and be as dangerous enough. The Congolese team, the thing about them is they've always had crazily talented squads when it comes to an AFCON. Like individually, I can't remember an AFCON where they're a country of incredible skill. But the mentality is always the issue. There's always some infighting or some very silly excuse. The drill, and they self-sabotage. If they can sort that, yes, I'll give it to Congo. But until I see that, I'm not putting them among the favorites.
Gary, as you're saying out, so I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah.
What will it take for the Black Stars of Ghana to be in East Africa in 2027?
I think we'll be in East Africa in 2027. We would have sorted out our head wobbles by then. I'm sure we'll definitely be there. I have no doubt that we'll be there as well. I think we'll make the World Cup also, and then that will be a building block from there. By then, after the World Cup or before the World Cup, I'm sure Otuado would have been sacked. Yeah, because he's not it.
Kwasi Appiah Ahad?
No, definitely not. I don't know. I wouldn't want Kwesi Appiah back, but you never know.
Story for another day.
Yeah. So I think we'll be in East Africa for sure. Yeah. So we'll be at Pamoja.
Pamoja, together tunawakilisha. Well, you heard it from Gary out. Smith, like we did say, our stay is coming to an end. Clive Chaze is my name. The channel is CK Sports. And yes, I'll catch you again in the next video.